So we're just going to dive right into the dashboard. If you don't know how to log into your website, basically all you have to do is go to your URL, whatever it is. In this case, this is my test website, /wp-admin. So houseschandleraz.com or whatever your domain name is, and then / after the .com or .net, whatever you're using, wp-admin. So if you don't have your logins, just email support@iFoundAgent.com. That's support@iFoundAgent.com to have your login sent to you. So I'm just going to log in, and you'll see a lot of stuff over here. Now you don't have to worry about it because most of it you'll never touch, don't have to touch, we don't want you to touch, like that. So for the most part, you're just going to be dealing with posts and perhaps pages from time to time. The only difference between a post and a page is the posts are the blog and the pages are the static portion of your website. So for example, I've got a seller's page, a buyer's page, and news, for example. So the seller's page might be what you want your sellers to see. This is going to stay the same. It's going to be in the same place every time I come back to the website. When I go to news, which is actually the blog, every time I put a new post in, it's going to go on top. And we're going to do a demo, and it'll go on top of this Camel View Optima condo for sale. So let's go into the dashboard and let's do a post. Now, when you do a post in the page, they'll actually look just about identical, with really only one exception. So this is a post, and so if I'm going to add a new page, I'm just going to click Add New. And for the most part, they look the same. The only difference we'll see is I don't have tags, because tags only go with blog posts. Now, tags are kind of like a keyword, and that just helps keep the blogosphere organized. We're not going to go too much into actually, we're not going to go into tags at all. Just something to notice, because we're actually going to do a post. And so when I come down here, I can see tags. So when I write this post, I'll put a few tags in just to kind of show you how I look at doing things. So I'm going to stop right here for now. Any questions? Anyone have anything? No. Anything burning? Okay. So let's do, I don't know, I've got my photo from McDowell Mountain. I shot this up at McDowell Mountain Ranch. So let's do a post on, let's see. Let's do 4-bedroom homes for sale in McDowell Mountain Ranch. And so I'm going to put, this is my title. Now when you're writing your title, this is kind of where you want to think about search engine optimization, or how someone who's looking for this online, or who's looking for content related to this online, might be looking for it. So then I usually, when I get down in here, this is the they call us the WYSIWYG editor, or what you see is what you get, because however you put it in here is what you end up with. Now, I will say that it's better to put your photo in first, because then the text will wrap around the photo nicely. But right now, let's not do that, because I want to see what happens when I don't put the photo in first. So actually, let's put that back. Let's see. 101 freeway. Is Twisted Lizard still there? Now the reason I put Twisted Lizard in there, I think it's still up there. It's a restaurant, bar. So if someone's looking for it, this post, could come up for that as well. So now I'm going to put a photo in. And to do that, I'm just going to do add media. And in this case, let's just take one from here. And so before I put it in, I can actually choose the size, where I want it to go. I can align it to the right, the center, the left, none. For some reason, I like them on the right. And link to, well, that's more for the advanced class, but you can link to like documents, PDFs, they'll covers that. Size, the original size, that would fill up the entire website. Large is still going to take up that whole column. I usually go with medium, so I'm going to put that in the post, and we can see that it came in below the text. So how I fix that is I look for, I know that my photos go in with an A tag, so I can see a little A right here. And I'll copy everything that has the A tag, even with the little characters here, and I'm going to do a cut, and I'm going to put it on top. Now I'm going to go back to the visual tab and see how it's, now the text is wrapping around it, so I just want to pull the text up a little bit, and it'll look real nice when I publish it. So I've got my content, I've got my photo. The other thing too is I can actually resize this photo here. I can just click on it, and there's little handles, so I can just drag on it for a size that I want. So you can do that also. All right, so now I'm going to go into this is the IDX tool. So this is where I'm going to pull up the actual properties to go with the search. Now I could actually draw it out on a map. I don't know the exact boundaries of McDowell Mountain Ranch, somewhere in here. So if you have someone who's got very particular criteria on what streets they need to be in between, I could do this here. Just really start drilling down to a very small area. But in this case, we're going to do McDowell Mountain Ranch. So I want 4 bedrooms, and the subdivision is McDowell Mountain Ranch. And I'm going to do a wildcard. A wildcard is, I know there's McDowell Mountain Ranch Unit 1, Unit 2, and however else the subdivisions are listed out. I want to make sure I get them all. And I don't know all of them. I'm going to click on like. Let's say I'm doing, I've got somebody that wants a pool, but they just, well, actually, I'll show you how that works. Maybe I'm going to put in pool. So McDowell Mountain Ranch. So we want 4 bedrooms, so we're going to do 3.9 to 4.1. That just makes sure we get everything to cover 4 bedrooms. So if it was 5 bedrooms, or 4 to, like, somebody wants a 4 or 5 bedroom home, I would do 3.9 to 5.1. So then we talked about, I'm going to just put in a pool here just for fun. So let's just do pool. I'm going to add the criteria, and I'm going to look up the different options I have. In this case, I'm just going to select all, and like is going to be checked. Now, I will display a listing in my results if any one of those criteria are met, it will show up. So if I want to just like if I started unchecking some of these in unchecked like, it would have to meet every single one of these criteria in order to show in a result. So in this case, I don't want to be that picky. I just want anything with a pool to show up. And then I have some display options. How many I can show per page, what I want to show. Maybe I don't want the map to show, like that. So then backup. Maybe I'm creating a search where there may be one or no properties available at any one time. I'll put a backup query in here. I might just do 85255. I might just do 85255, and I'm going to put in criteria for bedrooms. And I'm doing that because if somebody goes to this landing page and there's nothing there, I want them at least to see something so they don't bounce off. So that's why we do a backup query. So you might have a little subdivision that may or may not have anything listed. If you think there may not be, do a backup query, and that way you'll cover your bases. So click here to insert the shortcode, and it just drops this big mess of code in right here that I don't have to worry about. I'm going to pick a category. Let's see. Well, let's make one. Add a new category. Let's do McDowell Mountain. McDowell Mountain Ranch. So I'm going to add that category. Now I've got some publishing options as well. So these are kind of cool. I can save it as a draft if I want to come back and work on it later. It's automatically going to make this post public. I can make it private, so you have to have the link to see it, or I can put a password on it so I can send it to somebody. Maybe I don't want certain data to be available. It's just for my clients only. They have to have a password to put it in, or you can do the private link, where the only way you're going to find it is with the actual link. In this case, we're going to do public. And I can also have it publish at a later date and time. It doesn't have to publish right now. I can actually set this for tomorrow, in October, however I want that to do. And the reason you do that is, maybe you have a bunch of posts you're writing right now. It's actually nice to schedule those out so you're not publishing a bunch of content all at the same time. Actually, the search engines, it looks more natural just to spread it out. And you're not, depending if someone's subscribed to your blog or not, you're not overwhelming them with a ton of data all at once. They get a little bit at a time rather than all at once. So let's publish this, and let's take a look at it. And let's go over to, now it should, when I refresh, it should go on top of Camel View Optima condo for sale, which it did. So let's click on that and let's see what we got. All right, so I've got my title that I wrote, I've got my text that I wrote, I've got my photo, and I've got 27 listings, which all appear to be in McDowell Mountain Ranch. And so now I have some options. So I can take this link, and say I want to email it to somebody. I can go open up my email editor, post the link, type the person's name, their email address, or right in the dashboard is this little envelope. Has anybody ever seen that before? If you click on the envelope, it'll pop open your email program. I'm not sure on Outlook 365. I'm still working on that. Might be they're having a little problem with it. It's automatically posting my link in with a quick little note, which you can change that as well. So, and then I can just email it right out of my program, right from the WYSIWYG. I don't have to copy and paste anything. So that's pretty cool. We're going to be doing some more developments in here in automating what you can do with these links. So, the other thing that you can do is just you can now take this link and publish it into Facebook. I usually like to do it as, instead of just content, what are 4-bedroom homes being sold for in McDowell Mountain Ranch. So I can actually turn it into social media content. And I didn't have to think too hard about what am I going to write about. People are interested in what real estate's selling for. So I am curious if you guys have questions. I've been doing a lot of talking. So if you guys want me to go over anything or go over anything again, just let me know. No?
No, I'm good.
Good? Okay.
We searched a couple questions at the bottom.
Oh, I didn't see those. All right, let's take a look. Oh, okay. Is this Michelle? All right. So did you say if you remove any of the pool criteria, the listing would then have to meet all of the criteria checked? So what I was saying, or what we were looking at is, okay, so to get back into here, I need to highlight over this short code. And then you just click on the blue house again. So let's take a look at our pool criteria. And let's do the lookups. So at the moment I picked all of them. So by having the like box checked, as long as one of these criteria are met, it'll show up. If I uncheck it, they all have to be met, which will, I bet if we do that, well, let's see what happens. Let's update it. I have a feeling very few houses will show up. Let's see. Did I save it? I still have like checked. All right, so let's uncheck like. Insert. I think I didn't do that. Yep. So by unchecking like, it's more of a strict. It makes that stricter. So you have to meet that criteria. So it just depends on what you're trying to show, or what the criteria of your client is. So in terms of strategy, I think it's a good idea to when your clients make searches for what your clients are looking for. So if they're looking for a 4-bedroom home in McDowell Mountain Ranch, make the search and then email them the link. You've just killed 2 birds with 1 stone. You've served your client, and you've also blogged and created valuable content for your search, to get found in your niche searches, or just any search for that matter. And you can also use it for depending on how you write it, you can create social media content, because people are curious about what things are selling for. They're not necessarily interested in your new listing or open house, but they're curious in what real estate prices are doing. For example, what are the most expensive homes in Paradise Valley? I'm not ready to buy one yet, but I'd be curious. I have no idea what they're selling for. I'd be kind of curious. Or how much can you buy a golf course property in Greyhawk for, or Silverleaf, or Mesa? Whatever you can think of, you can very quickly make that content in here. I can tell you, just real quick, my wife posted this. She's a family law mediator, and she posted an article last night to her blog, which we've been doing for about 6 years. So she wrote this. It took her a little over an hour. She's always, she asked me, why don't you make me one of those things for my law practice? I'm like, well, I haven't quite figured that out yet, but you can have the same result by using our tool and create content in 2 minutes. I mean, it's very quick and efficient the way we have this set up to create content. So I really invite you guys to use it. 6 years later, this website's generated in the last 4 years over $250,000 in revenue, and it's 95%. Well, that's actually all from the website. We track what comes in from the website just to see how we're doing. So content marketing works. You just have to work it. And my wife's been very diligent over the years, and she's probably written 225, 250 articles or posts. I'm not exactly sure. Didn't do it all at once. We just did it a little at a time. She would do 2 or 3 of these a week, which, some of these are considered quite long. It took a while. As an agent with our tool, you don't have to do that. So she's very jealous of you guys to be able to create your content like that. Listing appointments. Yes.
I was going to say, when you do your post, you're not doing any of the stuff at the bottom of the screen, like the tags and stuff like that. Worry about that, or?
Well, I can't. There is no answer. So some of it depends on how much time I have. So Dale really gets more into doing your on-page search engine work, so to speak, and then tags. Tags, are basically like the search engine. So I did say I was going to do something relevant to, putting tags in. So, a tag is like a keyword. So I could put in, 4-bedroom homes for sale in McDowell Mountain Ranch, or just McDowell. Keywords that reflect what this actual article is about. Even Twisted Lizard. So in a sense, these are keywords. If you don't put in anything in the SEO, we call it the on-page SEO, don't worry, because Google will go in, they're going to read your page and decide what it's about anyway. I've done a lot of research just on writing a good title. You can go a long way just off of that. And I'll talk to Dale about going more into SEO, because it really is its own class in and of itself, and he's more of an expert on really what to do. And I say these 3 boxes. So basically, what I'm seeing in this WordPress SEO by Yoast, this right here is how this is what it will look like in Google in a search right here, if you want to know. Now, if I don't like this, I can actually come in and, all right, let's just do it. 4-bedroom homes in McDowell Mountain Ranch, Scottsdale. Well, actually, those are the keywords. So let's just keyword. I don't worry about keywords. Google doesn't really look at keywords that often. McDowell Mountain Homes. I could do 4-bedroom homes, McDowell Mountain. You don't have to get too crazy. The most I'll do is maybe 6 or 8 at the most. Usually it's 2 or 3. And then the meta description. That's Yeah, this is why I didn't really want to get too much into this. Meta description, what is this article about? This article, this post shows all homes with 4-bedroom for sale in Dowell Mountain Ranch. And they say to put 160 characters. Anything after that's not going to get read in the meta description area there. So this should be clear as mud by now. Yeah, basically, see, I don't have McDowell Mountain homes or 4-bedroom homes McDowell Mountain exactly in here. But again, I don't worry about keywords because Google doesn't use keywords anymore. That's actually an old practice from years ago that was very misused and misleading. So don't worry about your keywords too much. I put a few in. Sometimes I'll even just take what's here and I'll just copy them into here. Okay. And always make sure to update because we want to save our changes. And Becca, you said the box is a WYSIWYG, so the code will show up as a map.
It was before you posted it, so I get that.
What's that?
I said that was the question was before you posted it, so I saw what it looked like.
Oh, okay. All right, very good. All right. Questions?
Can you tell me a little bit more about the backup criteria? And is that only if there's not anything in the original criteria?
Yeah, so let me think of it. I'm trying to think of a subdivision right near my house. I know there's like 5 houses in it. I can't think of the name of it right now. Yet, anyway, as an example, it's like for backup, there's a little subdivision near my house that has 5 houses in it. At most, there may be 1 house listed in it. So if I actually, made a, if I know there's one in there and I made a, if I made another search for it or made a new post, there's probably a good likelihood in the future there's going to be nothing for sale in there. What I don't want to have happen is for somebody to go to, I don't want someone to go to a page and there's nothing. Like it'll say like no searches, because then they're just going to leave. So I want something there. So that's where that's where I'm going to come into the backup. Oh, I got to go. Sorry.
I guess my question is, if your search is 4 bedrooms in McDowell, but your backup criteria was the entire zip code, then how are you creating good content if your header is specifically targeting McDowell?
Well, you're not going to have. There's always going to be exceptions. So. Let me see. Yeah. Well, I could just make this. I could change this to. That might not have been the best example. I could just change this to McDowell Mountain Ranch.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Yeah, that's
all right. I'm just trying to understand it.
Yeah, that wasn't the best example. That makes more sense. But I know that I know there's usually, I'd be shocked if there was a point in history that there wasn't a resale home available in McDowell Mountain Ranch. So this is probably a better way to do it than I originally had it. All right. The other thing that we can do, and again, it just depends, what you're posting. I might have an instance where I want the sidebar gone. So if I want to do that, there's some options for how I want this particular page to be displayed. So right now it's this, that's the default. So I'm going to click on here and let's update it. And let's refresh, and that sidebar should disappear, which it did. So maybe I want it bigger. It just makes the map bigger. So when you would use that, I don't know, but sometimes things just, oh, I don't want that sidebar there. Or maybe I have a bigger photo that I want to display, or a bigger video, whatever. I can do that. So, the other thing I want to show people is, where's my cell phone? Is everyone aware that your website on a mobile device turns into an app without having to download anything?
No.
All right. Would you like to see how that works? All right.
Yeah.
Let's do that because I get to use some geek software. I'm a geek and I like using software, so let's do this. All right, so I'm going to put my cell phone into the computer. Oh, there it is. So when we look at when you pull up your website on your cell phone, it's going to turn into an app. So there, depending on how you have your form set up, it'll either show up or not show up. And this is what it'll look like. So what your buyer will have in their hands is this really cool search app. So I'm going to search, I'm at about 100th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright, so I'm just going to click on the search nearby. And I'm just going to search now for everything. I'll just see what's around me. And this software is exceedingly slow when I'm trying to run it with GoToMeeting. So I'm over here. I'm sitting right in here. So it's doing a pretty good job of pulling property, what's around me. When your buyer clicks on the contact agent, for whatever property they're seeing, that's going to go to you. Doesn't matter who has it listed. What we found is everyone's on limited data plans. They don't want to have to download an app. So they can just use this right in the browser. So let your clients know, and you can show them or tell them to use the app. Like we had a client, he actually made a video. I don't know if you guys saw that. He just made a video telling his clients to use his app, which is kind of cool. Let's see it. There we go. So he just made a video to show his clients that part of his marketing.
Everybody in Grant Brothers, the Home Smart Elite Group. Yeah, I just wanted to remind you, when you're out looking for homes this spring, make sure you're using my website on your cell phone. It's got an incredible tool. Just go to www.grantbrotherrealestate.com, click the nearby button, and it'll bring up all the available properties nearest to your phone out to a mile, up to 3 miles.
Anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. Also, we just released a advanced search tool, which is probably the coolest way to look for properties, and it'll make your buyers extremely happy, when using your site as well. So just to give you an idea how this works, what it looks like, when you go to your property search or advanced search, however it's listed on your website, this is what you'll have now. So we're going to do residential. I'm going to draw out, I want to look at Urban Paradise Valley here. Let's go back to McDowell Mountain. Somewhere, I think it's McDowell Mountain up here somewhere. No, not really. It's close. Now I can come in and really drill down into the features I want. So if I want 3 bedrooms, we're going to have some pop-up bubbles, so to make it a little easier for the users to use. I'm just showing you guys how this works. Maybe 3 to 4 bedrooms. And then I can come and pick my own features out. So maybe I want, like garage space. Search. And there's 360 homes for sale in that little area that met my criteria. Maybe I want to narrow it down by price. Let's redo it again. And I can save the search. I can go into my save searches. So your clients, anyway, I don't know if anyone's ever looked at this, but they can, actually this is my own profile, just the ones I've saved. So this is what your clients see, so that you want them working on your site, not someone else's. But again, it's just this is a really super easy way for a client to get what they want really quick without running around the internet. So you want to tell people and show them to your advanced search page, because it really is a super simple way for them to search for things, and they'll be a lot happier here than it's Zillow or wherever else they're looking for things. All right, Carol, I think you said that a page is created for. I think you said that a page is created for each individual home listed in your link. The page count up top on the dashboard doesn't change, though. Can you explain? Carol, are you there? All right, so I think you're referring to this page count here, which really there's the landing page, which is this page. And then we've got all these individual listings. So if I understand your question,